So how do we delay our route towards God's blessings? How do we delay? Because I don't want to be delayed. We already established we're women who move when God moves. It's the two things we already talked about. Come on now, if you've been paying attention, it's the two things that we've already talked about: radical focus and radical agreement. If you lose your focus and if you come out of agreement with God's instruction, you can delay your route. How? Because radical focus and radical agreement are what lead to radical blessings. Again, you can't stop God's will. His providential will is going to produce exactly what he set out for it to produce. But you can delay your journey. His will is going to prevail, and his grace may still bring you in, like it brought me in with that ALF business. But you probably won't be in the same condition. Who knows? Maybe things would have been different had you done what he said to do when he said to do it, if you hadn't have lost your focus or lost your agreement. Now, y'all know I'm not going to leave you hanging on a hypothetical. Let's go to the word. We're going to go to Jonah, and we're going to go to chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. The Lord gave this message to Jonah, son of Amittai: "Get up and go to the great city of Nineveh. Announce my judgment against it, because I have seen how wicked its people are." But Jonah got up and went in the opposite direction to get away from the Lord. He went down to the part of Joppa where he found a ship leaving for Tarshish. He bought a ticket and went on board, hoping to escape from the Lord by sailing to Tarshish. So Jonah made two mistakes. This is just one example. There are so many examples. The word is so rich. There's so many examples, but he made two mistakes that I think we can learn from today. He changed his focus and he changed his agreement with God. Because he was doing what God said to do. Jonah was a prophet. He had been sharing the word of the Lord prior to this moment. So at a certain point, he had been in agreement with God, right? But he changed his focus. He changed his agreement. What does that mean? Let's look at the definition of focus. I want you to write this down in your journal. Focus means the center of your interest and activity. So instead of turning towards, he turned away. Where does it say that? In verse 3, it says Jonah turned in the opposite direction. He turned in the opposite direction, y'all. So why focus? Because if you're not focused on God, you're focused on something else. I know you may disagree with that. It may be an unpopular opinion, but I'm here to tell you today that if you're not focused on God, you're focused on something else. And if you focus on that other thing long enough, that thing will become an idol in your life. And there will be no idols, right? There should be no idols in our lives. So we want to keep our focus on God.